you. Good morning and welcome to the Edge Podcast, where the facts matter, accountability matters, and the stories behind the headlines are never ignored. I'm your host, Carrie Lewis, and this morning we bring you an episode that spans tragedy, crime, and unanswered questions from a devastating house fire in rural North Carolina that claimed the life of a NASCAR legend's father, to a crime spree in Florida that left neighborhoods shaken, and finally to the Epstein files, a story that refuses to disappear no matter how hard, powerful people wish it would. This is not light listening, but it is necessary listening. Let's begin. Before we dive into to this morning's topics and cool stories, let's take a look at our weather because if you went outside this morning, you noticed it was a little nippy. um, so, if you're leaving the house this morning, I would advise you at 42 degrees to put clothes on. I mean, there is some people out there that don't want to put no clothes on, and that's fine. But, you know, uh, tonight's temperatures across Florida are going to be settling into the low 40s with clear skies, but lingering breeze in central Florida, including Ormond Beach and Volusia County. Residents are seeing a calm evenings, temperatures in the upper 60s, and clear conditions. And the same calm that allowed burglars to move quietly through a neighborhood's under cover of darkness. Weather doesn't cause crime, but it often sets the stage. Authorities in Gaston County, North Carolina, confirmed Monday that the father of a NASCAR superstar, Denny Hamilton, has died, and his mother remains in critical condition after a fast-moving fire tore through their family home Sunday evening. The fire broke out around 6:19 p.m. in the rural Stanley community. By the time firefighters arrived, it was already too late. Officials say 40% or more of the two-story home was already engulfed, flames shooting through the attic, the structure fire partially collapsing under its own weight. This was not a slow burn. This was a race against seconds. Me personally, I would freak out. Like I already get claustrophobic by just being in a room and it's shrinking or being in a small area. Could you imagine being in a house that's burning and you can't get out? That's pretty scary. A rapidly escalating emergency fire crews from multiple departments responded, but the rural location worked against them. There were no nearby hydrants, forcing firefighters to rely on tanker trucks shuttling water back and forth. Precious minutes lost as the fire advanced. That's sad, really. Emergency management officials described the scene in stark terms, mostly engulfed. Inside the home were Dennis Hamlin and Mary Lou Hamlin, Denny Hamlin's parents. Denny's Hamlin's did not survive. Mary Lou was pulled from the wreckage and rushed to the hospital where she remains in life-threatening condition. But this is also a family woven into NASCAR's history. To understand this love, you have to understand who Denny Hamlin was, and not just a father, but as a cornerstone of his son's racing career. Denny Hamlin has spoken openly, often emotionally, about the sacrifices his parents have made. Long drives, second mortgages, and near financial collapse. Dennis Hamlin was there at the tracks when nobody knew his son's name, leading trailers, fixing cars, and my phone going off in the middle of a podcast. Fixing cars, believing when belief was the only currency they had. Just weeks ago, Hamlin revealed his father has been battling a serious...
From Joshua, I found my missing sock. It was in my book bag. It came to work.
Sorry, some people just love to text me. Anyways, the investigation is still ongoing, and we will continue to follow that. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The Gaston County Fire Marshal's Office and state investigators face a difficult task. The damage is extensive and structure compromised. What is known is this: a family lost a father, a community lost one of its own, and a NASCAR lost a quiet figure who helped build one of the biggest stars there is. When we come back, a crime spree that rattled Florida neighborhoods and ended with an arrest, a gun, and a long list of charges. You're listening to the Edge Podcast. Welcome back to the Edge Podcast. We have been following this story for quite some time, and I find it very interesting. But in Ormond Beach, Florida, for days, residents were on edge. Ironic, on edge. Cars broken into, guns stolen, cash, laptops, and personal documents gone. All where most people were asleep. According to the Volusia Sheriff's Office, a week-long surge of vehicle burglaries and targeted unlocked cars, with surveillance footage capturing the same man slipping through the driveways in early morning hours, checking door handles, moving quickly, vanishing into the dark. The call that changed everything. The break came when a resident called 911 reporting a man actively trying to enter a vehicle. Deputies flooded the area within minutes. They found Quinn E. Fussell, age 27. Wow, that's young. Of Georgia, not even from Florida, and you're here committing crimes. When confronted, deputies say Fussell resisted and reached towards his waistband. That moment could have ended very differently, tragically. Instead, deputies stunned him and recovered a loaded revolver, concealed on his person. A motel room full of evidence, a search of fossils nearby motel from under uncovered what investigators describe as a cookie of stolen property. 2 handguns, ammunition, victims' identification cards, checkbooks, hundreds of dollars in cash. Detectives believe the item connects to multiple burglaries reports across Ormond Beach. Now, how in the hell do you come to Florida and commit crimes? Charges filed there. The charges are extensive. 22 counts of armed burglary of a vehicle, 4 counts of grand theft of a firearm, grand theft, 7 counts of petty theft, burglary on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest with violence, possession of controlled substance, I can't say his name, is being held without bond on the armed burglary charges. Community impact for residents, the arrest brought relief, but also a stark reminder: lock your vehicles, secure your firearms, report suspicious activity. As they say in California, see something, say something. Because prevention still matters even after justice is catching up. Well, turning now to sports, and it's impossible to separate the headlines from what's happening off the track. Denny Hamlin has not yet released a public statement, but the NASCAR community has rallied around him, and drivers, teams, and fans have flooded social media with condolences, prayers, and messages of support. Hamlin is not just a driver, he is a team owner, a leader, and a voice in the sport. And right now, he's a son in mourning. NFL and college notes as playoffs races tighten and bowl season approaches. Teams across the country are playing under pressure. A reminder that sports, for all their insanity, still pause when real life intervenes, because some losses matter more than wins. That's something that we need to learn. Just because you lose don't mean it's the end of the world, but some losses are more important. And losing a NASCAR driver the second this year is very, very important. Still ahead, the Epstein files, why they matter, why they won't go away, and why accountability still feels unfinished. Stay with us. This is the Edge Podcast. Welcome back to the Edge Podcast, where we talk about facts most of the time. It never gets too shady. It's a cold morning in Daytona Beach. If you're planning to go out, make sure you bundle up. My significant other learned that this morning when he walked out the door because he decided that he was going to go out and try to go out in the weirdest shirts ever and then going to text me during a podcast. Imagine that. Talking about respect. Anyways, on to our next topic. The Epstein Files has been a crucial point in 2025, and it started from the time that Trump took office. But the story is not going away. Jeffrey Epstein is dead, but the story is not. The release and partial unsealing of Epstein-related documents had reopened wounds many thought would never see daylight again. Names, connections, flights, and pure silence. What these files have shown is not just criminal behavior, but a system of protection where wealth and influence acted as an armor. The big question is, the most haunting question isn't who was named, it's who was never charged. Victims have waited years, decades for accountability. Instead, many watched as consequences landed on one man while others walked free. Now, why does this matter? Because justice delayed is justice denied. Because silence enables abuse, and because of the abuse, and because transparency is the only asteroid to power unchecked. The Epstein case is no longer about one predator. It's about whether the system is really, really willing or even capable of holding themselves accountable. Now, I have not followed the Epstein case. However, I've been following a few documents, and it seems from what I have witnessed, this has flipped back on Democrats more than it has Republicans. And it's funny because we're trying to use the Epstein's files to cover up progress, which I find just despicable. And you hear a lot of people saying that, oh, we need the names. But when the names come out, then Democrats go silent. And then next thing you know, you don't hear nothing about it. It's amazing when it flips on them, they go silent. But if it's a Republican, Lord forbid, it's just going to go haywire. They will indict us. They will come after us. They will do anything they can to make us look bad. But yep, when it flips on them, it's totally different. We're going to take a look at what's coming up in January of 2026 as the year comes to almost 24 hours until the new year. We will be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. That means we will be watching the Rockin' New Year's Eve online, and you can watch it right here at the Edge Podcast from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. On January 17th, we'll have the mayor of Edgewater and a good friend of mine, Mayor Diesel Depew, starting at 7 p.m. On January 24th, we'll have Heather Bondi at 7 p.m. She is a mother of four and a community advocate for the community court and family court. And on February 6th, we're going to have the founder of Dream Green Volusia talking about our future and what lies ahead. And then on February 21st, we're going to have Commissioner Dory right here with us live. She is the commissioner of Deltona, Florida. We're going to be talking about the issues of Deltona and what is taking place there. And then on March 7th, we'll have Ann Welch will be right here at 7 p.m. talking about soul. This is going to be a very interesting, and she also has a business that is going to be interesting to talk about. Now, everybody that comes on, I ask them about their early childhood and what led them to this point. If you're around and you want to join us, please do so. And if you're interested in being on the podcast, please send us your story to edgewatergazetteinc@gmail.com. That could put you at a possibility of appearing on the podcast. With many more stories to come and many more days to come, and a new year approaching, I want to say thank you to all of our readers, our listeners, and the joy that you have brought Edgewater Gazette, the Edge Podcast, the low times and the high. You have stood with us, and it has been a wonderful year, and we're looking into going into 2026 with a bang. And don't forget, if you're looking for a job, Amazon is always hiring. If you're looking for compatible pay, good benefits, and so forth, you can get you a job at Amazon. Please check out their website for more. Just remember, they are understaffed, underpaid, and they don't do too well. So they're already at the low of the spectrum. So just keep that in mind if you want to apply. When we come back, we'll wrap up our series today in our morning show with a story that's going to make you twist your fingers or twiddle your thumbs. This is the Edge Podcast. We'll be right back. The Edge Podcast. We're going to end our morning on a story that I have found very interesting, especially how this defense is trying to spin this case as it never happened. So a judge ruled redacted transcripts, audio recording of sealed Charlie Kirk hearing can be released. A judge ruled that the transcripts and audio recordings of a closed-door hearing involving accused assassin Charlie Kirk can be released in redacted forms during a hearing on how much access the public should have as his capital case proceeds in Provo, Utah. 4th District Judge Tony Graff Jr. said the redaction amounted to 246 words in the 80-page transcript. The transcript was released on Monday afternoon, but Graff said it would take about 2 weeks to redact and release the audio recording. The newly unsealed transcript shows that the October 24th hearing opened with Tyler Robinson's defense attorneys asking the court to allow him to keep one hand unshackled so he could take notes and write during the proceedings. Graft allowed the hearing to move forward after consulting with the court security. Pardons of that exchange remain redacted, including a statement that is entirely blacked out, leaving unclear what Pacific security concerns were discussed behind closed doors. And why are they not saying it? The transcripts also reflects that Robinson spoke only briefly in response to a question from the judge at the beginning of the hearing, and others remained silent as attorneys discussed courtroom security, media access, and upcoming motions. Graff told the parties he intended to proceed cautiously, saying he preferred to take additional time rather than be rushed and miss the mark. During the arguments over whether Robinson should appear shackled in court, Graff emphasized that security decisions ultimately rest with the court, not jail officials. This is not jail, he emphasized. This is your honor's courtroom, Graff said, adding that what security measures are necessary to ensure everybody's safety, including Mr. Robinson's, your honor's decision, not the sheriff's decision. Graff also pushed back on arguments trying to heighten security to the intense public attention surrounding the case, referencing claims about unstable individuals and online conspiracy theories. He dismissed much of the concern as external noise. In quote, he said, "We are aware of that. I've received some wacky phone calls and emails, people telling me what they think happened here. It's noise," Graff said, stressing that those factors should not dictate how this case is handled inside the courtroom, end quote. At another point, Graff underscored the broader states of the proceedings, acknowledging that Robinson's prosecution stands apart from routine cases. Quote, "This case is unique," end quote. "Whether we like it or not, this case is unique," he said. Robertson, 22, is accused of firing a single shot from the rooftop overlooking a Turning Point USA event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, striking the 31-year-old conservative speaker Charlie Kirk in the neck as he fielded questions from the people in the audience in a courtyard at the heart of the campus. Robertson was not seen in court on Monday and spoke only in response to a question from the judge at the start of the hearing. Graff addressed two issues: whether transcripts from the sealed hearing earlier this year should be made public, and the extent access of the media and public should have to the case moving forward. A group of local and national media outlets, including Fox News, has filed motions for limited invitations. The lawyers for the group asked for Graff to formal recognition from the court, advance notices of attempts to seal future hearings, or otherwise limit access to the courtroom, including by banning cameras, and give the media time to oppose such restrictions. He denied the motion, however, cited prior order telling lawyers for both sides they must notify the media before attempting to have further hearings behind closed doors. The parties are not required to notify the media before potential future attempts to limit cameras or other electronic coverage of the courtroom. Robertson has made only one in-person court appearance since the September slaying, and some of the case has unfolded behind closed doors, prompting the media group to demand greater transparency and the chance to oppose future secretive proceedings. Robertson's defense has asked Graff to kick cameras out of the courtroom. An outright ban on cameras would be a desperation response to the defendant's concerns and issues limitations what can and can't be shown. Earlier this month, he promised to be narrow when weighing what part of the sealed hearing should remain in open eye. I would, quote, rather do it right and take more time than to rush and miss the mark, he said. Kirk, who founded Turning Point USA to bring conservative voices to college campuses, died from a catastrophic gunshot wound as Robin allegedly fled into a nearby neighborhood, ditching the suspected murder weapon, a Maser 30-06 rifle, along the way. The victim was married, father of two. The suspected killer returned home to southern Utah about an hour drive and allegedly confessed to his roommate and romantic partner, who I think is going to be a key part of this. The accused assassin is due back in court on January 16th in person for a longer hearing. Among the issues to be heard is a motion from the defense demanding that one of the prosecutors who had relative presence when Kirk was killed to be reaccused from the case, which I find just absolutely ridiculous. Robertson faces 7 charges, including aggravated murder, which carries the potential of death penalty, a felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction, and witness tampering. He has not yet entered a plea. My name is Kerry Lewis. I thank you for joining the Edge Podcast. I hope you catch us every morning, 7 days a week at 7 a.m. right here, coming to you from the sweet Daytona Beach, Florida. Have a great day. Be blessed. Stay informed. And remember, life is too short to be stressed. Have a great day.